chosen ones, the proven way to pass any spiritual test life throws at you. Life is not random. Every experience, every obstacle, every painful moment you've ever faced, none of it was meaningless. It was all part of a grand design, a spiritual curriculum specifically tailored to shape you into the person you were always meant to become. But here's the truth most people don't realize. The tests you face in life are not there to punish you. They are there to reveal you. They are there to strip away everything that is not truly you, so that you can awaken to your highest potential. The moment you step onto the spiritual path, the moment you decide to seek truth, purpose, and enlightenment, you activate something profound. You trigger a series of spiritual tests, challenges designed to refine your character, expand your consciousness, and force you to confront the deepest parts of yourself. And these tests, whether they come in the form of heartbreak, betrayal, loss, failure, or isolation, are not random. They are precise. They are perfectly crafted to target your weaknesses, to expose the illusions you cling to, and to break the chains holding you back from your destiny.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
I think about the hardest moments of your life. The moments you thought you wouldn't survive. The moments where everything seemed to be collapsing. At the time, it probably felt like the universe was against you, like life was unfair, like you were being crushed under the weight of suffering. But now, looking back, can you see it? Can you see how those moments changed you? How they forced you to grow in ways you never would have if life had been easy? Can you see how each trial, no matter how painful, was actually a test, a doorway to a higher version of yourself? The problem is that most people don't realize they are being tested. They react to their struggles with fear, anger, and resistance, never understanding that their suffering is actually an initiation. They don't see that life is asking them a question: are you ready to evolve? And for those who refuse to listen, who refuse to learn, the same tests will keep repeating. The same toxic relationships, the same financial struggles, the same feelings of unworthiness. Because until you pass the test, the lesson will not go away. So, how do you pass? How do you overcome the spiritual challenges that life throws at you? The first step is awareness. You must wake up to the fact that nothing in your life is happening by accident. Every hardship, every painful experience, every moment of doubt, it is all happening for you, not to you. The moment you shift your mindset and start seeing your struggles as spiritual tests rather than punishments, everything changes. Suddenly, you are no longer a victim of life. You are a student of life. And when you become a student, you gain the ability to learn, to grow, and to move forward. But awareness alone is not enough. Every test requires a choice. You must decide how you will respond. Will you collapse under the pressure, or will you rise? Will you let your past define you, or will you use it as fuel to create something greater? The way you respond to your challenges is what determines whether you pass the test or whether you will have to face it again in another form. And here's the part that most people don't want to hear: spiritual tests often appear when you are closest to a breakthrough. Right before you level up, right before you step into a new chapter of your life, life will throw its most difficult tests at you. It will push you to the edge, making you question everything, making you want to give up. Why? Because your old self cannot enter your new life. The version of you that is weak, afraid, or attached to illusions must be left behind. And the only way to shed that old version of yourself is through fire. So ask yourself, what is life trying to teach me right now? What patterns keep repeating in your life? What fears, doubts, or limitations are being triggered? Because once you identify the lesson, you gain power over it. You stop reacting blindly, and you start responding with wisdom. You start making choices that align with your higher self rather than your wounded self, and that is how you pass the test. But passing the test is not just about survival. It's about transformation. It's about becoming the kind of person who no longer needs to be tested in the same way. It's about evolving so completely that the old challenges no longer affect you. And when that happens, life will bring you new challenges, but also greater rewards. Because the more you grow, the more you are entrusted with. The universe does not give power, wisdom, or abundance to those who are not ready for it. But the moment you prove that you are ready, the doors begin to open. This is why spiritual tests are not something to fear. They are something to embrace. They are evidence that you are being prepared for something greater. They are proof that you are on the right path. Because the truth is, the strongest souls, the most enlightened beings, the ones who leave a lasting impact on the world, they are not the ones who had an easy life. They are the ones who were tested, repeatedly, ruthlessly, and instead of breaking, they chose to rise. So now the question is, will you rise? Will you take everything you have been through, all the pain, all the struggles, all the moments you thought you wouldn't survive, and use them as the foundation for your greatness? Or will you let them break you? This is your choice. This is your test. And the way you answer will determine everything that comes next. The master key: how to turn every spiritual test into your greatest power. Most people go through life unaware that they are being tested. They believe that obstacles are just unfortunate circumstances, that pain is something to escape, and that suffering is a punishment rather than a gateway. But the chosen ones, the ones who are meant to awaken, to rise, to lead, know better. They know that every challenge is an invitation to evolve, to grow, to become something greater than they were before. And the ones who understand this, who learn how to turn their trials into triumphs, are the ones who unlock the master key to life itself. But how exactly do you do this? How do you take a moment of suffering and turn it into the very thing that propels you into your highest destiny? The answer is both simple and profound. You must stop resisting the test and start learning from it. Every form of suffering carries a hidden message, a lesson that, once understood, dissolves the suffering itself. But most people never stop long enough to listen. They fight against their circumstances, they complain, they blame, they resist. And in doing so, they miss the very lesson that was meant to set them free. Think about the greatest struggles of your life. The heartbreaks, the betrayals, the moments where you lost everything. At the time, it felt unbearable. It felt unfair. But now, looking back, can you see it? Can you see how those moments shaped you? How they forced you to grow in ways you never would have chosen for yourself? This is the secret that only the awakened ones come to understand. Pain is not your enemy, it is your greatest teacher. The problem is that most people are so consumed by their suffering that they never realize they are being given an opportunity. They become lost in their emotions, in their fears, in their stories of victimhood. But here's the truth: your pain is not here to destroy you, it is here to refine you. It is here to burn away everything that is not truly you, to strip away the illusions, the false identities, the fears and doubts that have kept you small. And if you can embrace this truth, if you can shift your perspective from resistance to acceptance, everything changes. But let's go deeper. Let's talk about what really happens when life throws a test at you. Most spiritual tests come in one of three forms: loss, delay, or opposition. Delay forces you to develop patience, to trust divine timing, to surrender your need for control. And opposition arises when you are on the verge of something great, challenging you to prove how badly you want it. Each of these tests is designed to strengthen a specific part of you. Loss teaches you detachment, that nothing external can define you. Delay teaches you faith, that what is meant for you will come in its own perfect time. And opposition teaches you resilience, that nothing truly valuable comes without effort. But most people fail these tests because they don't recognize them for what they are. Instead of learning, they resist. Instead of trusting, they doubt. Instead of rising, they retreat. So how do you pass these tests? The first and most important step is awareness. The moment you recognize that what you are going through is a test, you take back your power. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding with wisdom. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" That single shift in perspective is enough to change everything. Because once you see the lesson, the suffering loses its grip on you. But awareness alone is not enough. You must also take action. If you are facing loss, you must allow yourself to grieve, but not to attach. You must remind yourself that anything that leaves your life was never truly yours to begin with. If you are facing delay, you must cultivate trust, understanding that what is meant for you will never be withheld from you. And if you are facing opposition, you must stand firm in your faith, refusing to back down in the face of adversity. And here's the most powerful truth of all: the greater your calling, the harder your tests will be. The universe does not waste time testing those who are not meant for something great. If your trials have been intense, if your struggles have felt unbearable at times, it is because you are being prepared for something far beyond the ordinary. You are being shaped into someone who can hold great wisdom, great power, great responsibility. But before you can step into that, you must prove that you can handle the weight of it. This is why the tests you face are so personal, so precise. They are designed specifically for you, targeting your deepest fears, your weakest points, the places where you still need to grow. And the only way to pass them is to face them head-on, to stop running, to stop numbing, to stop pretending that life is happening to you and start realizing that life is happening for you. So ask yourself, what is my current test? What area of your life is being challenged right now? Where are you experiencing the most resistance? Because that is where your next breakthrough is waiting. That is where you are being asked to evolve. And the moment you stop resisting and start embracing the lesson, you will find that the test no longer controls you. You control it. You control it. Because here's the final truth: once you pass a spiritual test, it never comes back in the same form again. You may face new tests, greater challenges, but that specific lesson will be mastered. And with each test you pass, you step deeper into your power. You become more unshakable, more aligned, more unstoppable. This is how you ascend. This is how you evolve. This is how you become the person you were always meant to be. The only question that remains is, are you ready to stop resisting and start rising? Spiritual mastery: how to face any test and never be defeated again. At some point in your journey, you will realize that life is not about avoiding tests, it is about mastering them. The enlightened ones, the ones who walk through this world with unshakable peace, have not been spared from suffering. They have simply learned how to move through it without losing themselves. They do not resist the tests that come their way. They do not break under pressure. They do not collapse when life strips them of what they thought they needed. Instead, they stand firm, knowing that every challenge is just another step in their evolution. This is where you must arrive. A place where no test, no hardship, no spiritual trial can shake you. A place where you no longer see suffering as a curse, but as an opportunity to expand beyond what you thought was possible. Because here is the ultimate truth: life will never stop testing you, but you can reach a level where you no longer fail. You can reach a level where every test only makes you stronger, wiser, and more powerful. But to get there, you must master the three fundamental laws of spiritual tests: acceptance, transmutation, and transcendence. The first law, acceptance, is the key to inner peace. Most suffering does not come from the test itself, but from the resistance to it. When something painful happens, the mind immediately fights against it. This shouldn't be happening. This isn't fair. This is too much to handle. But this resistance only creates more suffering. It locks you in a battle with reality, a battle you can never win. The enlightened ones do not resist. They do not waste their energy wishing things were different. They accept what is, fully and completely, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. And the moment you stop resisting, the moment you surrender to the flow of life, you will feel an immense weight lift off your shoulders. You will realize that you do not need to control everything. You only need to trust. But acceptance is not the same as passivity. It does not mean giving up. It does not mean allowing yourself to be defeated. This is where the second law comes in, transmutation. Once you accept the test, you must transform it. You must take the energy of suffering and turn it into wisdom, strength, and power. This is what separates those who stay stuck in their pain from those who ascend beyond it. Pain itself is neutral. It is what you do with it that matters. Some people let their suffering make them bitter. Others use it as fuel to evolve. You must decide, will this break me or will this build me? The process of transmutation begins with a single question. What is this test trying to teach me? Every challenge carries a lesson, but only those who seek it will find it. If you are going through heartbreak, perhaps life is teaching you that love must come from within. If you are facing financial struggles, perhaps life is teaching you self-discipline and trust in abundance. If you are being forced into solitude, perhaps life is teaching you how to rely on your inner strength. The test will keep repeating until you learn the lesson. But the moment you extract the wisdom from your suffering, the suffering loses its power over you. You become untouchable. No experience is wasted. No pain is meaningless. Everything is fuel for your transformation. And then comes the final law, transcendence. This is the level where you become truly unstoppable. It is not just about passing tests anymore. It is about rising so far above them that they no longer affect you in the same way. It is the moment you realize that nothing external has the power to disturb your inner peace unless you allow it to. The enlightened ones are not free from challenges. They are simply no longer controlled by them. Their happiness does not depend on circumstances. Their strength does not waver when life becomes difficult. They have reached a state where they no longer live in reaction to the world. They create their own reality from within. To transcend suffering, you must detach from the illusion of control. You must stop basing your happiness on things that can be taken away. You must stop seeking validation, security, and peace from the outside world and realize that everything you need has always been within you. The moment you stop depending on the external, you become free. No loss can shake you. No betrayal can break you. No failure can define you. Because you understand that the only thing that truly matters is who you are becoming through it all. This is the ultimate mastery. The ability to walk through fire and remain untouched. The ability to lose everything and still feel whole. The ability to face any challenge and know, without a doubt, that you will not only survive but emerge stronger than ever before. This is what it means to be truly powerful. Not power over others, but power over yourself. Power over your mind. Power over your emotions. Power over your own destiny. And now the question remains, are you ready to live this way? Are you ready to stop letting life control you and start mastering every test that comes your way? Because the moment you make that decision, the moment you commit to this path, everything changes. The tests will not stop, but they will no longer feel like suffering. They will feel like stepping stones, each one bringing you closer to the highest version of yourself. This is the path of the chosen ones, the path of those who refuse to be defeated, the path of those who take every hardship, every challenge, every moment of pain, and turn it into something extraordinary. The path of those who do not just survive life, they transcend it. The final awakening, how to transcend every test and step into your ultimate power. There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when they realize that they are no longer the same person they once were. The weight of the past no longer binds them. The fears that once ruled their mind have lost their power. The suffering that once seemed unbearable has transformed into wisdom, and what once felt like chaos now reveals itself as divine order. This is the moment of true awakening, the moment when you stop seeing yourself as someone struggling to pass life's tests and start seeing yourself as the creator of your own reality. Most people live their entire lives reacting to the world around them. They allow circumstances to dictate their emotions. They allow failures to define them. They allow fear to keep them small. But the ones who awaken, who truly awaken, realize that every experience, every challenge, every so-called setback was never meant to break them. It was meant to initiate them, to push them beyond their limitations, to strip away the illusions, to reveal the infinite power that has been within them all along. And now you stand at the threshold of this final realization. The realization that there are no more tests, only opportunities for expansion. The moment you internalize this truth, you become untouchable. Life does not happen to you anymore, it happens through you and for you. You stop asking, why is this happening? And start declaring, I am ready for whatever comes next. Because now you understand that every experience is a gift, every obstacle is a portal, every ending is a beginning. But here is the final and greatest secret. Mastering life's tests is not about overcoming them, it is about no longer needing them. The challenges you face are not random. They are reflections of what you still need to learn, what you still need to release, what you still need to transcend. The moment you fully embody a lesson, life no longer needs to test you on it. The moment you become completely at peace with uncertainty, you no longer experience anxiety over the unknown. The moment you stop attaching your worth to external validation, you no longer attract situations that make you feel unworthy. The moment you stop fearing loss, you stop experiencing the kind of suffering that comes with attachment. This is why the enlightened ones move through life with such ease. It is not because they are spared from challenges. It is because they no longer resist them. They no longer see them as something to get through or overcome. They simply accept, adapt, and expand. Their inner peace is untouchable because it is no longer dependent on anything outside of them. And this is where you are being called to a level of existence where nothing can shake you, nothing can break you, nothing can make you forget who you truly are. But to reach this level, there is one final initiation. One last threshold you must cross. You must let go of the identity that has been built around struggle. You must release the version of yourself that only knows how to fight, to endure, to survive. Because survival is not the highest state of existence. You were not meant to just get through life. You were meant to create, to expand, to embody something greater than you ever imagined. You were meant to thrive. This means releasing the stories that keep you stuck. The belief that you are not enough, the fear that you will fail, the attachment to the past, the need for validation, the illusion of control. All of it must be surrendered, because as long as you hold on to these things, life will continue to test you on them, not as a punishment, but as a reminder. A reminder that you are still carrying weight that does not belong to you. A reminder that you are still holding on to illusions that are blocking your power. A reminder that you are still resisting the truth of who you really are. And who are you? You are not your pain. You are not your past. You are not your fears, your doubts, your failures. You are something far greater. You are consciousness itself. You are the creator, not the victim. You are the master, not the student. You are not here to be tested anymore. You are here to create. So now, the choice is yours. Will you continue to see life as a series of obstacles to overcome, or will you step into the truth that there is nothing left to overcome, only experiences to embrace, lessons to integrate, and new levels of existence to step into? Because the moment you make this shift, the moment you decide that you are ready to live from your highest potential, life will respond in kind. The struggle will dissolve. The resistance will fade. the path will clear, and you will walk forward not as someone who is being tested, but as someone who has already won. This is your final awakening, the moment where you stop searching for answers outside of yourself and realize that they have been within you all along. The moment where you stop fearing the unknown and start embracing it with open arms. The moment where you stop asking if you are ready and start declaring that you are. Because you are. You always have been. Now, it is simply time to step into it.